Our pop-up camper has these little bungee cords that are used to hold down the sides of the pop-up portions, but many times they have broken out because we begin to push in the pop-up before we've taken out the bungees. And so how do you repair something like this when the grommet has torn through the fabric? So here's what I used. I used a wooden cutting board, some jean patches, an iron, and a pair of scissors. And here's one of those iron-on patches I got at a craft store. I just folded it over the torn portion, put the wooden cutting board down below, and then ironed it in place. And I think the instructions call for like 30 to 40 seconds. And so that's what I did. And I did it on both the top and the bottom. And this is what it creates, a really nice patch. The first one we did, we actually tried to sew in place in addition to ironing, but we really feel like the ironing is all we needed to do. And here's me just tapping in the hole using a grommet kit, and you can get these at just about any hardware store, any big box type hardware store. And so I used the top of a ladder to do it because that provided something stable. If I had tried to hammer onto, and there's my beat up ladder, but no big deal. But it provides a nice stable surface because if you try to beat down on it on top of the pop outs, it'll just bounce and you won't do it. And so it just left a little bit left. I had to tear off, but no big deal. And so now you put that portion underneath and then the grommet pieces in place. Just stick that through the hole there, and then you put the top portion of the grommet on, and then again use the grommet tool to hammer it all in place. And this is what my setup looked like. And then I'm going to show you the finished product right here of another one that we did. So it really produces a really strong hole to replace the bungee cords, and we've used it now, and it works out great. So I just took some bungee. I bought this at the hardware store as well, really cheap. Just cut it with a utility knife, and then I burned the edges so that they wouldn't fray, and you just have to burn them just for a few seconds, and it provides a nice sealed edge, nice soft edge. And then I just decided to use a zip tie, and in fact I used a couple of them, and if they break, I'll just replace it. It's not a big deal. And I decided to burn the edge, and hopefully, I was hoping I wouldn't burn the tent down. And thankfully, I succeeded in just burning the edges of these. And what it does is it provides a nice rounded edge to those cut off nylon pieces, because otherwise those actually can be kind of sharp. And didn't want anybody to poke or cut themselves when they're putting the pop-up together. So there it is, all done, super easy. And we repaired, I think, 5 of them like that. And they work fantastically.